Hello there everyone. Again, this is Domadigo and I will be your teacher for today. So, we have discussed on our previous topic about the 4 different types of writing styles. So today, we are going to tackle one of those writing styles. We are going to delve deeper into one of those styles. So what do you think is that writing style? Of course, it is the narrative writing. So, narrative writing is one of the 4 types of writing styles, and it's which the writer and or author places himself as a character and then narrates the story himself. It is usually in the first person point of view. So, narrative writing has dialogues because, of course, narrative writing is usually used in novels, short stories. So, usually, they have dialogues. Next, narrative writing has definite logical series of events, just like what I have talked or what I have discussed to you on our previous topic. And the story contains the plot where there is a beginning, middle, and end. So, narrative writing contains specific elements that creates interest, not just to the writer, but as well as to the readers. It is then as if the reader is part of the story he or she is reading. Well, of course, just like what we have discussed, it is under usually in the first person point of view. So whenever you read a writing that is in the first person point of view, it is as if you yourself is narrating the story. So that is why it is as if you are part of the story. So, what are the elements of narrative writing? Do you have any idea? Well, we were going to discuss it. So, first element is the plot. It is the series of events in the story. And it is also the framework of the narrative. It tells what the story is all about. So, first, in the beginning of the plot, it provides an overview of what the story is all about, or it serves as an introduction. The setting is being introduced. Characters are also being introduced, and it presents the conflicts and disputes in the story. So, let's proceed to the middle part of the plot. It is where the actions rise slowly, and characters try to solve their problems. Then, the climax, or the turning point of the story. It is also the most awaited part. Next, it is also where the actions are on its peak, and it shows how to solve the problems, or the process for the characters to solve the problems. Then, lastly, the end. The problem is solved. It is where the problem is solved, and actions falls down. And, of course, the essence or theme of the story will be realized. Usually, the narrative writing, the theme is being realized at the end part of the story. Next, we have the characters. I bet you are all familiar with it. So, it is the people that are involved in the story. We have the protagonist as the lead character, antagonist or the villain of the story, and of course, these characters can be human, animal, or inanimate objects. When it is animal, of course, usually it is definitely called fable. Then, characters must be described well in order to be real and appeal to the reader's senses. They must possess realistic features or characteristics so that the readers will be able to relate to them. Next, the setting of the story. It is where the story happens, and of course, these settings must be visualized by the readers, and so that it must be written visually or vividly. The writer must create a picture of it in order for the readers to see what kind of setting the story is all about. If it is in a setting of gloomy or gothic place or in a festive place. So next is the style. The presence of figurative languages will create more beauty to the story. So figurative languages such as simile, metaphor, irony, hyperbole, and the like. So using figurative languages will also make your narrative writing unique. So you must use it wisely. Next, conflict. It is the problem of the story that must be resolved. Then next, we have the theme. It is the essence or message of the story, and it can be stated directly or indirectly. So, next is the point of view. Point of view is the person who is telling the story. It can be first, second, third person limited, or omniscient point of view. You have to take note that it is also important to provide answers to 5 W's and 1 H in order to have a clear narrative writing. So, these 5 W's are what, when, where, who, why, and of course, how. What is the story all about? When did the story all about? Or when did the characters meet? When did the guy met the girl? Where? Where did the story happen? Who? Who are the characters of the story? Why? Why did that conflict arose? Or why? Why did it happen? And next, how? How did we resolve the problem? All these questions must be answered in order to have or to create an effective and interesting story, interesting narrative writing. So next is the sensory imagery. Are you familiar with these words, sensory imagery? Well, of course, it is from the word itself, senses. In narrative writing, the use of 5 senses is very important to give the readers a better picture and understanding of the story. So, are you familiar with the 5 senses? Well, it is the sense of sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. These 5 senses must be visualized in the narrative writing in order for the story to be more precise, more interesting, and can be appealing to the readers. With the use of this sensory imagery, they will also feel the things that are happening in the story. The readers, audiences, or listeners will be able to relate, to be able to feel the things that the characters in the story is feeling or thinking. So that is all. That is the topic about narrative writing. So I hope you guys have understood narrative writing, and I hope that you would like to write narrative writing in the future. So again, this is Jill Domadigo, your teacher for today. Thank you and goodbye.